Hi, my name is Dawn Black, and I'm the Member of Parliament for New Westminster Coquitlam in the beautiful province of British Columbia, where it's plus 15. My critic area is national defence, and what I can tell you about this budget in national defence is that that is the only area in the budget that received an increase starting in 2011 and will be a guaranteed increase and guaranteed funding for the Department of National Defence. There is no guaranteed funding for any other program in Canada, like childcare, like healthcare, like seniors and education and training. None of those programs or departments got guaranteed increases in their funding, but by this government, the Department of National Defence did, and that's scandalous. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. First of all, this is a great turnout. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Libby Davies, and I'm the Member of Parliament for Vancouver East, and I'm the House Leader for the NDP and the Deputy Leader, so I spend a lot of time here in Ottawa. And as you can see, we have a fantastic caucus, and as the Labour critic, I work very closely with the Labour movement and my colleagues. And while you've heard about what this budget doesn't do and the challenges that we have, but on International Women's Day, I also want us to celebrate what we have done. And so I'll tell you, when you've got new Democrats in the House, you've got a real fighting force. So one of the things that we did over, I think, was it 2 elections and 3 parliaments, we fought tooth and nail and finally got through the Wage Earner Protection Bill, which gives protection to workers when companies go bankrupt. This is something that's very important to protect women's wages. We had to keep fighting this and make sure that it didn't get dropped off, and we finally got it passed through. So we're very proud of that. The other issue that I think is just something we got to hold on to and keep fighting is to implement the pay equity report. A huge amount of expertise went into that, and of course the Conservatives, like the Liberals before them, have just ignored it. So that's another deep systemic issue that we're rock solid on, and we won't give up on it. So thank you so much for being here today. Happy International Women's Day.
Sisters and brothers, happy International Women's Day. A couple days early, but we can celebrate all week. So happy International Women's Day. I'm Penny Priddy. I'm the MP from Surrey North, which is just outside Vancouver, and I am the public safety critic. And at the Public Safety Committee, if we spent a lot more time talking about prevention, talking about support to young families and their children, talking about support for youth and youth intervention, we'd spend a lot less time talking about tasers and policing and all of those other kinds of things that we talk about, including community prevention, where we can sort of make women safer so they can have better alarms that they carry and better alarms on their car. That's not the goal. The goal is to change the society so that we have a civil society where the victim doesn't have to keep protecting themselves. We have changed the way it is out there. That's really what our goal should be. I have to tell you that 17 years ago I was appointed the first Minister of Women's Equality, the only freestanding ministry in the country. And you know what? I have to tell you, it was a powerful lesson because it taught me what is possible, but it also taught me how tenuous the advances we make are. And I rocked my 35-year-old daughter, and I said to her 35 years ago, darling, things will be way better when you're an adult. And you know what? They're better, but they're not way better. And I now rock my 2-year-old granddaughter and say, sweetheart, things are going to be way better when you're an adult. And God, I hope that's true, because our job is to be here and make that happen. And you know what? Our loaf of bread is getting smaller and our rose petals are getting fewer, and that's not okay, so let's get out there and organize. Thank you.
Bonjour tout le monde, bienvenue. Je m'appelle Alexa McDonough, je suis porte-parole pour développement international et pour la paix. I'm going to take twice as long as what we were allotted because Jean Crowder unfortunately broke her foot yesterday morning, and if she were here, she would want to talk about the disgrace of the racialization of poverty and the continuing horrendously unacceptable treatment of Aboriginal women. And what Jean Crowder knows, she was the previous critic for the status of women is that this caucus, which thank God was elected with 41% women in the last election, but more importantly, or equally importantly, we have a leader and male caucus members who are proud to call themselves feminists and be part of this feminist struggle. Everything that my sisters and brothers in the caucus and in the movement across this country, which includes all of you, are fighting for domestically, is what I have the privilege of representing internationally as the international development critic, trying to fight to remove the disgrace of Canada instead of living up to and exceeding the minimum percentage of gross national income for overseas development assistance of 0.7%. We are stuck, we are stagnant at 0.3%, and this budget does nothing to change that. Instead of guaranteeing funding for the military for the next 20 years, what we're trying to do is address through international development as well as domestic programs the horror and the disgrace of the number of women and children in this world that don't know where their next meal is going to come from 20 minutes or 20 hours away. So let me just say how wonderful it is to be here to celebrate International Women's Day, but we know how much work we have to do to be able to measure and report on progress a year from now. Merci beaucoup. Happy International